Morning, my beautiful fairy friends. We are in South Point State Park and it's December 11th. It's very early morning and I can't sleep. I'm waiting for the sun to rise. And while I'm waiting, I decided I'm going to record this video for you, telling you a little bit about yesterday and how I got here into South Point State Park onto another gathering adventure. So my kids are out at their dad's for 2 days right now. And when this happens, when it's only 2 days that I have, I usually don't go very far because it takes about 9 hours to get to Shasta and it takes about 13 hours to get to Oregon's coast and 11 hours to get to the Redwood coast. So it's not enough time. And I usually stay at home and do all sorts of things around the house, preparing the home for the kids. I cook, I read books about mushrooms, I put together these videos, I do some Pilates, and this time, because it is, well, sometimes I even explore my local forests in Los Angeles, which I used to explore them a lot, but it's just so hot in LA right now. It's December 11th and it's 84 degrees and it's sunny all the time and everybody's sweating because they don't understand. We're like, are we supposed to wear our winter clothes or are we supposed to wear our summer clothes? And we end up overdressing in the morning, then taking off layers as the day evolves. And I know that up north, it's nice and cold. It's the actual fall. It's, getting closer to being winter. And there were rains up there. And literally, the moment you leave LA and you pass by Grapevine on the 5, the moment you go down Grapevine, it's like everything changes. All of a sudden, you get this fog, the clouds, and the temperature is so much cooler. And it doesn't change all the way up. Only as soon as you return back and get up Grapevine and then down into LA, somehow it's like a whole different world there. It's just hot. And I decided, well, I probably should stay. And in the back of my mind, it just kept playing, oh, well, it's raining there and it's the mushroom season and I should probably take every little moment to do my exploration stuff. And then I decided, okay, maybe I should work also on getting a better camera. Maybe I should like research what kind of camera that I can get that is like in all right, okay price to film these videos, actually to film mushrooms up close, because in the forest it gets super duper hard to film mushrooms on this on the cell phone camera. And I decided, okay, well, who could know what type of camera I should get or I should look for? And I remembered, oh my God, Alan Rockefeller, he's a leading mycologist, but he also does photography and he teaches people how to photograph mushrooms. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go on and follow him on Instagram and just read through all of his posts about, what kind of cameras and how to do the photography. Maybe he has a little tutorial somewhere online. And the moment I went online and onto his page, I scrolled down and the first thing I see is there is going to be a talk and tacos on December 10th, which was yesterday, in Berkeley, California, where he's going to be talking about active mushrooms of California and the world. And Chad Hyatt will be making tacos, mushroom tacos for everyone. And I looked at the clock. I just took the kids to school. I came, I was already back at home. It was around 9. And I looked at the clock. What time does the talk start? And it said that it starts at 5 p.m. And it will take me like around 5.5 to 6 hours to get there from Los Angeles to Berkeley. And I was like, perfect. This is my answer. So I will go to the talk. I will enjoy the talk and tacos, and then make my way up to the South Point State Park, and then spend 1 day there, and then head back down, and then spend the next 5 days in LA with the children. And I drove all the way up. I've never been to Berkeley. It was so pleasant. It's such a pleasant little part of San Francisco Bay Area, I guess. And the talk was wonderful. I personally don't particularly focus on active mushrooms, just because I think all mushrooms are magical, if you know what I mean, because I think just the active mushrooms bring out that magic in a very frontal way, right? So they're concentrated in a way where you have this amazing experience of crossing the border between the worlds, or expanding the way you view the world, and all of a sudden you can see into these different realms fast. But if you just eat regular mushrooms all the time, meaning wild mushrooms, not cultivated mushrooms, and I don't have anything against cultivated mushrooms, by the way. I'm sure they're absolutely wonderful, but there's something very magical about every mushroom that grows in the forest. And I'll explain it to you right now. Mushrooms, fruits, everything around us is like nature's energy storage device, like a little battery, right? So I see like apples hanging on the tree. I see little batteries, right? And we can either choose to generate power from within, energy from within, which we can, or what we usually do is we generate, or what we believe in, which is a long conversation, is that we generate the energy from without, right? So that's where we are right now in our evolution, and that's totally fine. So we utilize our metabolism, not our skin metabolism like I utilize during fasting, which is possible to utilize that, your lungs and your skin as a source of as a mechanism of metabolism, to metabolize elements that are surrounding you and fulfill your body, bring nutrition into your body this way. But for now, we're utilizing only one metabolism, which is our gut, our stomach, our colon, and we outsource the energy, right? So we grab the energy from the tree or from the forest, the little battery, and we eat it. Now, this battery, there are different types of batteries. So some batteries, so what powers the battery itself, right? It's an energy storage device. Inside of the battery, there is this juice that is making the battery work, and that juice is actual nutrients. So unfortunately, a lot of the batteries that are sold right now in big cities, in big stores, they don't have that much energy, right? They don't have that many nutrients. They don't have that much juice of that real energy flowing inside. They're devoid of nutrition. So you're buying a battery thinking you're going to get so much energy from it, but technically you're just consuming an empty shell. Now, when you're eating from the forest wild mushrooms, that every wild mushroom is literally positioned in a different place. The mycelium runs, right? It spreads in all sorts of directions. So you'll never get the same exact mushroom ever, because it constantly moves, and it's always exposed. Depending on where the mushroom comes up, it will have a little bit of a different nutrition inside within it, a little bit of a different energy to it. So some will be under this tree, and the sun will shine at it from this direction, and the soil at that specific pocket of the forest will be rich in these sort of nutrients. So it will have a concentration of this nutrient, maybe a little bit less of this nutrient, some minerals, some that, and then every mushroom is a little bit different. So you never have the same mushroom again, and you always have this new energy, this new information, and this nutrition. Nutrition is kind of like information, right? It's think of it this way. Nutrition is information. Nutrients are information. You know how mycelium is called the Wood Wide Web and mycelial network. Wood Wide Web, and it's passing nutrients through the mycorrhizal relationship to the trees. So it's passing information and as nutrients into the trees, and then we are also welcome to join in this cycle of life, of magical life, where it can pass that same information to us in a form of a mushroom, right? So we gather the mushroom and we receive information that we can never ever receive anywhere in the city, from fruits and vegetables that are grown in monocropped spaces, like let's say almonds in California. They say, okay, organic almonds, organic almond milk, but I drive through the 5 all the time, I see those farms left and right, there's nothing but almonds, and they look like robots. Literally, there's vast spaces of just little short stubby trees and tubes running to the trees to feed them, and there's no shade, nothing. They're all exposed to the sun exactly the same amount of time. You know how forest therapy, like forest light therapy, you get the sun rays that run through the branches and the way they hit the floor, and then it changes so quick. So you get this rainbow of emotion, you get this rainbow of different environmental play, right? It's playing out differently every day depending on where the sun is. So you're eating a rainbow of energy, rather than as if somebody grew something for you with tubes and the sun just constantly shining, and then the sun goes down and it's just dark and cold. So food is alive. It has information. It has information in form of nutrients, and by going out there into the forest, we expose ourselves to a completely new world of information, natural information. Why do you think we always think the same thoughts over and over and over again when we're in the city? Because we eat the food that contains exactly the same nutrients, right? It is modified to look a certain way. It is monocropped. Although it can say that it is organic and not sprayed or whatever, but it lives the same life. A mushroom in the forest has all sorts of lives. They run around the forest. The mycelium runs around, makes relationships with different trees. There's just so much going on. It's like a whole different world, and that whole different world is transferred to you through the microbiome when you consume the mushroom. I'm sure this was dragged out, again 13 minutes, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. There's nothing that compares to eating wild, and if you're not into mushrooms, there's other ways, and the most incredible person that I know for that is Pascal Bedard. He forages everything that you can possibly see around you in Los Angeles or anywhere, and turns it into delicious food. And the guy's pure magician, wizard. So there are ways to do this without going all the way out. But I have the opportunity to go all the way out into the forest, and here I am, and I'm ready. The sun is almost up. Let's go and figure out what type of new information we can gather today, and then share it with everybody, right? All right, I love you guys, and I hope wherever you are that you are happy, that you're happy, that or that you are on the way to becoming happy, and that you're taking the time to get to know nature around you and travel into nature and explore the environment, because your environment is direct representation of who you are. And as your microbiome changes, your environment changes, and you might just get to be in the forest all the time if you eat wild. That's a hint. Bye. So I'm just at this little stop with picnic tables and a walkway to the beach, a couple of hikes here. But right by the picnic table, right here, I see so many mushrooms, and a lot of them are old and some of them are unearthed. So I'm thinking this is probably from other people. I think that's might be some sort of a sulfur tuft right there. Oh, is this a hedgehog? You see how they're all unearthed? These are hedgehogs. These are hedgehogs. Oh my God. These are little hedgehogs, you guys. Somebody unearthed them. Or maybe they just unearthed themselves. And then look how many mushrooms are in the bushes. Somebody just threw them away. Oh my God. And then I see more mushrooms right here. I even saw one, oh, right there. I even saw one Craterellus tubaeformis right here. Somebody threw it away. Who would do that? And then there are more mushrooms right there. Oh wow, I wonder if we should explore this little trail or just head straight on up to, oh my God, there is also mint here. Oh, I think this is, yeah. Let's see. Oh my God, you guys, this is mint. Oh my God, this is really good mint. Wow, let's gather some.
California Hedge Nettle, Stachys bullata. A native California mint that is commonly known as lamb's ears or wood mint. I know the word nettle is a bit confusing. This plant is not a stinging nettle. It belongs to a different family of plants named Lamiaceae, a family that includes true mints. While the stinging nettle, scientific name Artica dioica, comes from a family known as Articaceae. California hedge nettle can be recognized by its minty, slightly lemony aroma when bruised. Two-lipped purple or pink flowers that grow in clusters, square stems, leaves that grow opposite to each other, and a shorter stature than the California coastal hedge nettle. Stachys bullata is edible and medicinal and has been used by members of original nations for centuries as a tea, a poultice, and a gargle to treat sore throats, stomach issues, inflammation, infected sores, earaches, and as a disinfectant. I personally get very excited whenever I come across native species of plants that are also endemic to California. They are a living history of this land and hold within them keys to remembrance, the true story that no book can ever reveal to us. An interaction with any such plant, through ingestion and processing it metabolically, is a sacred ceremony.
Alright guys, so I checked out two little trails and decided to head to my main trail, the main event of today, and just go for it because I still have to be able to make it back to LA tonight, and it's gonna take around 7 hours or so. So yes, we're here. I'm very excited. I've never been to this trail before. It is so well marked. In the park, it says mushroom foraging beyond this point, literally. So you're not gonna get lost. We're ready. Let's go. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Oh, I already see some mushrooms.
First find of the day, Western yellow-veiled Amanita. I call these roadside mushrooms the gatekeepers. If you treat them nice and talk to the mycelium underneath, they'll show you to the others. Also, they love to take pictures. Western yellow-veiled Amanita, Amanita Augusta. This individual here, although not fully mature, looks pretty weathered. No offense, dear mushroom. But the remnants of her otherwise bright yellow universal veil appear bleak and tarnished. The caps of Amanita Augusta can come in many different shades of brown. They may or may not have little yellow, in this case murky yellow, scattered warts, remnants of the universal veil that once covered the entire mushroom. Usually this type has a skirt-like ring, remains of the partial veil that once covered the gills. In this case, the ring is the same color as the cap, mixed with faded yellow. But some time ago, it most certainly was radiant and sunny. It is difficult when you find only one specimen, especially not in its prime. But looking over the pictures of fresh fruiting bodies in books and online, it is certainly clear how this mushroom gets its name Augusta, which means majestic in Latin. When it comes to the gills, I encountered a bit of confusion. with most sources stating that the gills are either completely free or slightly attached to the stipe, while one of my most trusted books, Mushrooms of the Redwood Coast, says, quote, "Gills are finely to broadly attached, rarely free," end quote. The stipe tapers towards the apex and turns bulbous towards the bottom before tapering once more below the enlarged base. An apex of the stipe is the end where it connects to the cap, or the pileus. The base of the stipe is where it meets the substrate. Lower stipe of Amanita augusta is coated in gray and yellow scales and rings. These are remnants of its universal veil and a weakly developed vulva. Unlike many other amanitas, western yellow veil has an obscure vulva that often disintegrates or stays in the ground as the mushroom gets unearthed. Amanita augusta forms mycorrhiza with a variety of trees, Douglas firs, Sitka spruces, and oaks, and grows in mixed forests fruiting early fall into winter.
La 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 la.
Oh, so pretty. Hi, baby. Hi, gorgeous. Wow. Well, today I'm gonna try the Russulas and see whether they're bitter, acrid, or not. All right, guys, I'm going to try a piece of this Russula, what I think is shrimp Russula, the taste and spit test to see if it's acrid or not. I've never done that. Well, I've done this once before on a foray with a mycologist in Los Angeles. I've done it with something, some sort of a milk cap, I remember. But this is the first time I'm going to be doing it on my own. Oh my God, look, we match. And I'm going to find out whether this one is acrid and not edible, or mild tasting and possibly edible. I'm not going to keep it and eat it though, but I do want to start identifying them in this way. All right, ready, set. Mild. Sorry, I'm spitting, but I have to. It's very mild, so I'm guessing that this one would be edible if I was to eat Russulas. But it certainly is really cute. We are going to head a little bit further up the trail before turning and going into the woods, and then make our way back down towards the parking lot. And I only made 2 steps and started seeing mushrooms to the side, and I'm going to go check them out real quick before heading further up and checking out. Oh, hold on. I think these might be what I'm looking for. The hedgehogs. Oh yeah. Fresh, gorgeous, beautiful hedgehog. Wow. Guys, and there are more over there. Oh my God. Let's go get them. Oh, and a big Craterellus tubaeformis. 1, and then 2, 3. Okay, I need to be careful where I step here. And then look at those hedgehogs. I see them over there. Let's carefully make our way towards them, get the hedgehogs, and then turn our attention to Craterellus tubaeformis. Oh, there are more over there under leaf duck. And stepping carefully, making sure we're not stepping on any mushrooms. And a big hedgehog right there, and more over there. Guys, oh my God, these are my favorite mushrooms. Thank you, dear forest. Look at this big hedgehog. Oh wow. Oops. Oh gee, I broke it off, unfortunately. I'm sorry, they're so brittle sometimes. Okay, this one. Ooh. And so this is the real hedgehog. This is not the This is basically the Hydnum repundum, not the Hydnum umbilicatum, the one that I usually gather, that I've gathered so far this year. I've had only just a little bit of the real hedgehogs, and I really like them. And these are, you see, they have like stubby stalks and no belly button at the top. And they're a little bit paler in color, in my opinion. Look at the teeth. Ooh, these are delicious. Let's go get the rest. I'm going to also pull out the rest of this one. Just because I broke it off doesn't mean I'm going to leave something behind, something that is so valuable. Right? Oh, something is over there too. All right, we're gonna get these guys and then clean them all up together. Ooh, how amazing, guys. Look. Look, 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 look. Oh, this beauty. Let's try to leave the little one behind untouched so it can grow for others. Oh my God. Look how gorgeous this mushroom is. Oh my God. Beautiful hedgehog. Okay, gently, without squeezing the stipe, I'm pulling him out. And there he is. Oh. Yes. And we're going to leave the little one behind. Look at the white mycelium at the bottom. I'm going to take some pictures. And then we're gonna pick this big guy right here. Oh, I feel like they're growing together as a cluster. Oh no, this is just one big hedgehog. Or maybe two fused together. Yes, that's another identification feature of the Hydnum repundum, the regular hedgehog, that they sort of fuse together as they age. And these are two fused together. Check out, I found one more absolutely beautiful, gorgeous fusion of Hydnum repundum hedgehogs. Look. And the stipe is so large. And then I found one more, and then I found such beautiful Craterellus tubaeformis. Let's go look at them. So these are the hedgehogs I found so far. And look, I wiped the stipe of this one, and look how it turned yellow right away, right? Brownish yellow, closer to like this leaf. Interesting. And this one, I cut the stipe a little bit, and also the flesh is turning yellow.
The hedgehog, Hydnum repundum, also known as wood hedgehog or sweet-toothed hedgehog. Two kinds of hedgehog species are found on the Pacific Northwest coast: common hedgehog, Hydnum repundum, and belly button hedgehog, Hydnum umbilicatum. From a culinary perspective, I consider myself to be lucky whenever I come across either one of these delicious delights. But as we dive deeper into identification aspect, it is evident that there are two distinct species here, which are often intermixed and may look almost identical to a beginner. So how do we determine who is who? I finally got a hang of it, and this is how. Let's start with the names. The names give us clues about differences between these two species by highlighting key features that distinguish them from one another. With Hydnum umbilicatum, it is more evident. Word umbilicatum makes us immediately think of an umbilical cord and a belly button. And a belly button on its cap is this mushroom's distinctive feature. Easy. Now, what about Hydnum repundum? Well, first of all, the word Hydnum, which names the genus, comes from Greek and means truffle. Another similar word means tooth. The word repundum, which names the species, comes from Latin and means turned up, which is one of the defining characteristics of Hydnum repundum's cap. The caps turn up with age. Notice, we're not talking about the margin of the cap, but rather the entire pileus. So, the biggest distinction is the cap. Hydnum repundum's caps are uplifted and are usually bumpy or cracked on the surface. Hydnum umbilicatum's caps are not uplifted, zonate, and have a belly button in the center. Both Hydnum repundum and Hydnum umbilicatum have little spines or teeth as their spore-producing surface. Examine them. The way they attach to the stipe can help you distinguish between the two species. Hydnum repundum's spines are always decurrent. They run down the stipe, while Hydnum umbilicatum's spines are often non-decurrent. Instead, they are adnate, which means they broadly and directly attach to the stipe. And often these spines are completely free, meaning they do not touch the stipe at all. If you see a Hydnum umbilicatum that appears to have teeth running down the stipe, notice that they grow from the cap's tissue and not from the tissue of the stem, like in the Hydnum repundum species. Hydnum repundum stipes are thicker and often fused together. They remind me of a branching broccoli stem, while Hydnum umbilicatum species have much slenderer stipes that don't coalesce. Hydnum repundum grow in small colonies of 3 to 5 individuals, while Hydnum umbilicatum grow in large troops, often forming fairy rings. And now for the fun part, cooking and eating these gems of the forest. I sear the hedgehogs and add a mix of caramelized onions and carrots. Sprinkle it all with dill and wrap it into a fresh homemade crepe, sweetened with maple sugar. Sweet crepes filled with savory hedgehogs. This dish is finger-licking good. Another one of my favorite recipes is to make the same mix of seared hedgehogs, caramelized onions, and grated carrots. Finely chop everything after it's cooked and combine with homemade mashed potatoes. Next, prepare ravioli dough and make what we call vareniki, or ravioli stuffed with this mix. It is heavenly, and this is a product that you can freeze, thus prolonging the shelf life of your precious harvest, stretching it all the way into the summer. Some people recommend to brush off the tiny spines from under the cap before cooking, as they can make the dish grainy or mushy, but I don't bother to do that for any of my dishes. Also, if you're in a hurry, simply sear your hedgehogs without cutting them and then sprinkle a tiny bit of salt, squeeze a few drops of lemon, and garnish with freshly chopped dill. Believe me, this very simple preparation will be enough to make you run right back into the forest the next morning for more hedgehogs. Hedgehog mushrooms are low in calories and high in proteins, vitamins, and minerals, including vitamin D, B2, B3, B5, potassium, copper, manganese, iron, and zinc. My body feels wonderful after I eat a hedgehog dinner.
All right, let's try to get to these absolutely gorgeous Craterellus tubaeformis that I saw from the other side. Oh, guys, I can't believe somebody dumped a whole bunch of them. Look at this big beauty. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my God. Oh, sorry guys. Oh my God, they're everywhere. Oh my God. I'm actually on one right there. Oh, and there's a whole big family right here. Oh, and right here, and right there. Oh my God, and right there. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna take some pictures and move very carefully so I don't squeeze anyone. Just as I turned around, there are more. Look at this big guy. Oh my God. Whoop. And then there are more over there, and more all around me. Oh goodness. All right, and I'm like sitting in this funny way right now, not to squeeze any mushrooms. Oh, and here's another big guy right there. Let's collect him too. Oh, there we go. Guys, look how many. They grow so big here. I'm going to be leaving all the medium ones behind too, and just going for the big guys so that other foragers can enjoy them a couple of days from now. The weekend is coming up. They're going to be here. Notice that these Craterellus tubaeformis love to grow around dead stumps, dead tree stumps. They congregate around them, and so do the hedgehogs as well. I found them mostly in the duff, but very close to decaying wood. Or leaf litter. Oh, that's a big
Craterellus tubaeformis right there. Ooh, we found you, buddy. Come here. Come here. Look at how beautiful it is. And sometimes they get a little bit discolored on top like this, but I don't mind. I think that's still a fantastic mushroom. Just a little dry. Whoop, and another big one right next to it, and another big one. You see how hard it is to see them? Especially when they fade like that to beige. Look at the tube in the middle. And also notice this very white base of the stipe. And the Yellowfoot. And the decurrent gills. Well, gills veins. I would call them veins, right? They're vein-like with ridges. And a ruffly edge that is a little bit lighter than the rest of the cap, right? It gets lighter towards this fringe right here. Gets a little more bright yellow. And then gets a little darker towards the middle, fades a little bit on the top with age, and then has a tube. Hello. And this tube runs all the way down through the stipe. And if we were to cut this mushroom, which I don't want to do right now because I'm holding my phone with the other hand, you would see that the stipe is hollow inside. All right, let's gather the rest of these big guys right here. Whoop, whoop. I'm so excited. Oh, hello, gorgeous. How are you? And it's perfectly firm and springy. So this discoloration is nothing. If it was moldy or yucky, wet, waterlogged, or anything like that, or translucent, I would have probably left him behind, but...
Yellowfoot or winter chanterell, scientific name Craterellus tubaeformis. These guys are besties with the hedgehogs and always grow near each other and make a killer culinary combo, pairing well together in a soup or a side dish, or pretty much any recipe. Officially, Craterellus tubaeformis, Hydnum repundum, and Hydnum umbilicatum are said to be mycorrhizal with a variety of coniferous and hardwood trees, but I have a feeling that they can express themselves as saprobes as well, that is, decaying dead wood or dead leaf matter. Throughout this season, I noticed many of them growing on or near dead tree trunks, where nutrition is plentiful. Maybe their mycelium decays a dead tree on one end and sends the nutrients to the living host tree on the other end, thus being both mycorrhizal and saprotrophic simultaneously. This is certainly only an inner feeling I get when I observe them, not a scientific study. But all in all, if you find yourself wandering the woods looking for these guys, make sure to look around fallen trees and dead stumps. Also in places with lots of pillows and cradles, a forest landscape feature formed by trees that toppled over decades ago. As you do so, watch out for the potential lookalikes, Chrysomphalina and Xeromphalina species.
So, again, I just took a few steps up the trail, up the road, the main trail, and I found these gorgeous guys, some sort of purple mushrooms, maybe purple Cortinarius. Let's see, it's gorgeous. Whoa, violet something. Oh, wow, guys, it's so soft. It's so pleasant to the touch. Wow. And look, so I think it might be the Cortinarius. There is a younger specimen right next to it. I'm gonna pick it up. But you see how the gills are turning brown, typical of the Cortinarius. And then there's like the stipe is naked right here, maybe because it was covered by the cortina. And then you have this slight
ring-like structure that is almost blends in with the stipe, and then it gets thicker towards the bottom. Oh, see the young specimen right here? Yes, it has a cortina. Oop, where are you? You see the little cortina? It's cobweb-like partial veil. So this is why they're called web caps. There's one more. You can see the cortina on this one really well.
Silvery-violet cort, Cortinarius alboviolaceus. Cortinarius is a very diverse genus of mushrooms, with thousands of species around the world which are often difficult to distinguish from one another without a microscope. To make it a bit easier, mycologists group these species together into larger sections, based not only on their evolutionary closeness, but also on their physical traits, reproductive structures, biochemical traits, and ecological roles. Cortinarius alboviolaceus belongs to section Cerasaiasobi, which means silky heads. Members in this group are known for their silvery blue to silvery lilac caps and silky texture. This couldn't be more precise, as it is definitely the feature that I noticed the most. The way she feels to the touch is heavenly, not like any other purple cort I've ever held in my hand. Mushroom gathering has got to become a healing modality for sensitive individuals, as it so gently stimulates our senses, without overwhelming them. This lady's cap reminds me of a beautiful colonial bonnet hat worn by women and children of that time. And we are lucky to see its cortina too, a cobweb-like partial veil after which the entire genus Cortinarius is named.
All right, let's go further up. This side looks like it's filled with the redwood tree. Oh, look, there's another one of those Cortinarius and another Russula. And this one looks different, right? The other one had purple top, and this one has a red stipe, reddish stipe, and a red cap, and beautiful cream gills. All right, we're gonna give this one a test as well. All right, we're ready for another taste and spit test. Let's try. Ooh. Oh, spicy. Oh. This guy is definitely so spicy. Well, I don't know if this is what they call acrid. It's peppery, that's for sure. Oh, it's still burning my tongue. Okay, I'm gonna start spitting. I'm gonna turn off the camera for now. This guy is going to fly and spread the spores, not into the basket.
Rosy Russula, Russula Rhodocephala, formerly known as Russula sanguinea. And what do you think I see the moment I start reading up on these gorgeous scarlet red Russula species? Quote, "It has an extremely acrid taste when raw and is described as having a disgusting flavor when cooked." End quote. Just my luck. Second time ever performing the taste and speed test, and I get the worst of it. I guess this automatically moves me higher up in ranks. This mushroom can be recognized by its bright cardinal red colored cap, creamy white gills, a rosy stipe with whitish bloom, and a cream to pale yellow spore deposit. And of course the super acrid taste.
So this forest is way more open and it's easier to walk through it, but there are much less mushrooms, many less mushrooms. But I found something phenomenal, guys. I found what I think is the Hydnum pekii, the bleeding tooth fungus. Oh my God. Look how beautiful.
Orange spine or Hydnellum aurantiacum. Turns out that Hydnellum pekii, the bleeding tooth fungus, isn't the only star of its kind. Introducing his magnificent co-star, Hydnellum aurantiacum, but you can call her simply orange spine. Hydnellum aurantiacum stands in the genus Hydnellum, known for its leathery toothed fungi, the most famous being Hydnellum pekii, aka the bleeding tooth or strawberries and cream fungus which exudes blood like guttation. Hydnellum aurantiacum is just as beautiful and magical looking, only her guttation is orange. Guttation is excess water and metabolites excreted from the mushroom's surface. It usually occurs when the surrounding moisture levels are greater than what the mushroom needs, like during the rain or heavy fog. Hydnellum aurantiacum forms mycorrhizal relationships mostly with conifers, in this case with a Douglas fir tree. Edibility and medicinal value of the orange spine have not been explored, but to me, the most fascinating part is her appearance and especially her flawless guttation drops. How are they so perfectly positioned on the top of the cap and stay there without rolling away or losing their spherical shape? This is possible due to a combination of several factors: the mushroom's tendency to slowly excrete excess water, water's fundamental property of surface tension, and the fact that the surface of the cap is non-absorbent. Water molecules are highly attracted to each other. Molecules on the outside of the droplet are strongly pulled inward and toward one another, forming a skin-like appearance on the surface. And since the surface tension is continuously present and strong, it pulls the molecules into the smallest shape possible, which is a sphere, a shape with minimum surface area for a given volume. Because these droplets are so small, the surface tension within them is much stronger than the force of gravity on them. Surface tension is dominant, and therefore gravity cannot flatten or distort their shape. And lastly, the surface of Hydnellum aurantiacum's cap is non-absorbent, so the tiny droplets sit like little beads on top, unable to be reabsorbed back in.
На маленьком плоту сквозь бури, дождь и грозы, взяв только сны, грезы и детскую мечту, я тихо уплыву. Лишь в дом проникнет полночь, чтоб рифмами наполнить мир, в котором я живу. Ну и пусть будет нелегким мой путь, тянут ко дну боль и грусть, прежних ошибок груз. Но мой плод свит из песен и слов, всем моим бедам назло, вовсе не так уж плох. Я не от тех бегу, кто беды мне пророчит. Им и сытней, и проще на твердом берегу. Им не дано понять, что вдруг со мною стало, что вдаль меня позвала, успокоит, что меня. Ну